Now, on this point, I must express serious reservations about advance directives, living wills, related testaments. Some of you may have these things. I state for the public, you are my witnesses, I do not have an advance directive, I do not have a living will, and anyone who might claim that I have either of these things is a rank liar. If I'm found gasping and sputtering and turning purple, I want decisions as to what to do to me reserved to the doctor, who might be looking there saying that mass of flesh, but damn it, I'm going to save it anyhow. That's the way I want to go. Did you record that? Do you have that? Mark that down. Gordon, mark it down. That would be the case that'd be the case in Aberdeen in any case, wouldn't it? Be some young intern saying, God, it's fresh, but we won't let him go. So, even if we accept the truth and the accuracy of Michael Schiavo's testimony, the question has to be raised as to whether Terry Schiavo was competent in stating the wishes that he attributed to her. If experts in clinical neurology are scarcely unanimous or precise in establishing just what is entailed by the term persistent vegetative state, it's not to be expected that an ordinary citizen would have anything but a very vague sense of its meaning and its significance. To say, if I'm ever in such and such a state, ... really may ask too much of one's auditors and may claim too much knowledge for oneself. In brief, it is always in order to be wary of advance directives, living wills, and non-contextual affirmations. There's a literature on this, by the way, and it's an interesting literature, a literature based on what people say in their advance directives and living wills. If I'm ever, then I don't want any of this. And you know what happens when they're actually laying there and turning purple? And the doctor says, well, I do have this mammiocum stuff. Give it to me, you say. If I'm ever in such a state, easily said. How many times have you said, well, if I were there, you know what I would have said to you? And then you're there and you say, might the courts and the citizenry be more deeply informed by the growing community of experts in medical ethics, bioethics? Be careful of what you hyphenate. If there is a good argument to the effect that one must not take Jack's liver, then it's going to be akin to the argument according to which you shouldn't take his car or his house. And it's not entirely clear that some new set of ethical precepts is engaged every time the scientific community develops a new low-noise amplifier, if you get my point. You see. Bioethics. An amicus brief was filed by 55 of the leading bioethicists in the United States, major figures. I didn't know any of these names, but I'm sure that they were major figures. Well, with respect to this part of the story, doubt sinks rapidly toward the level of derision. It was at once alarming and perplexing to observe the consistency with which members of the bioethics community were of nearly one mind in their support of the courts and of Michael Schiavo's rightful authority as a guardian. That there would be such uniform approval of measures designed to cause death by starvation and dehydration was the fulfillment of prophecies emanating from bioethics centers years earlier. Daniel Callahan, director of the prestigious Hastings Center, observed as early as 1983, I believe I gave lectures there in 1983, so much for the staying power of one's rhetorical achievements, do you see? So while I'm lecturing there, Callahan must have been up in his room writing this one. Quote, denial of nutrition may, in the long run, become the only effective way to make certain that a large number of biologically tenacious patients actually die. Remind me, I'm not going to have Dan Callahan to certain functions. He goes on, given the increasingly large pool of superannuated, chronically ill, physically marginal elderly, I'm going to be 69 years old tomorrow. I don't like this kind of talk. It could well become the non-treatment of choice. Oh, damn. Note the main objective, cited here without any evidence of regret, let alone horror. The main objective is to unburden the system of tenacious patients by starving them to death. I mean, this is sort of a double win, isn't it? You save on the food bill and you get rid of the